Hello everyone, welcome to the new session, Crop Harvesting Part 1. So in this session, what we are going to study about? In this session, we are going to study about an introduction to crop harvesting. So here we will understand what is the meaning of crop harvesting, right? And after that, we will study about what are the different factors that affect the crop harvesting, and later then we will understand some of the harvesting method. Okay, so let us start this session. Introduction to harvesting. The nutritional value, freshness, and the flavors of fresh produce include all fruits and vegetables marketed fresh will depend on the stage of maturity and the time of day and when they are harvested. So suppose you are having a crop field and you are having some fruits orchard, right? You are having some fruit trees, and at what particular time you pluck all those fruits. First thing. Second thing, how you are storing that particular fruits or vegetables, right? At what time you are plucking your fruits, because fruits will have its nutritional value, its freshness, its flavor of fresh produce according to the time you are harvesting it. Okay, and also how you are storing it before you take it to the market for the selling. So it will depends upon the stage of maturity at the time of harvesting and the time of the day when they are harvested. If the harvested produce is overly mature, they will bestringly and coarse. So you if you have plucked your fruit at a very mature level, then you cannot keep that fruit for 2-3 days at your home and then you go to the for its selling, right? So either you have to consume it instantly, or you can take at that time only to for the selling. So produce picked too soon may be too tender and it will lack the substance and flavoring. And if you pluck the fruit very sooner, it do not get mature or it is not having its freshness, nutritional value at the time when you have plucked, then that will lack the substance and flavor. That particular fruit is having a flavor, a freshness, a taste that you will not get if you produce pick too soon. If you pick that particular fruit or you harvest that particular fruit too early, right? So this is the thing that one must keep in mind before harvesting. The time of harvesting varies with the climate, the particular season, the variety, and the crop involved, right? So it is very important what time we are harvesting, right? What is the climate and what is the variety, and according to that your harvesting should be done. For instances, the tomato can be left on the vine until fully ripened or taken off when partially ripened. So if it is partially ripened or fully ripened, then you can take out that tomato. So other crops such as winter squash and watermelon are not ready until after they are fully developed. So the export citrus is often harvested fully matured but green. So the fruits are matured, right? In the case of citrus, when the fruits are matured but green in color, they are green but mature. So at that time they can be harvested. So every fruit is having its own particular time of harvesting. But before it get its all nutritional value, that should not be harvested. These are then later put through a ripening process. Once they, like for in the case of citrus, they are plucked at the green but mature. The fruit become mature but they are green. So after that they are kept for ripening process. And crops may be harvested at the different stages of fruit maturity depending on the produce and factors such as the market destination. If the market destination is very nearby, then they can harvest and keep for a time. But if the harvest, if their market is too far away, then they have to take as early as possible, because transportation time is quite larger, right? The purpose of the produce that is to be used as a fresh or processed produce. So, what is the purpose of this harvesting? The purpose of this harvesting is to produce, that is, it should be used as fresh or processed produce. So, the time it take for the produce to reach the consumer, right? All these things are very important as a farmer, for any like a person who is having an orchard, or harvesting, whether it is a fruits or a vegetables or any cereals even. So they have to harvest the crops, the fruits, the vegetables at very particular time, right? And they should know that at what time this is going to reach to the consumer. So what is the particular time that I should harvest the fruit? What is the particular time that I have to take it to for this market for the selling? And from there also, the person who is selling the fruit should know that this fruit is going to be perishable, or the quality of the fruit will at this particular time get degraded. So it should reach to the consumer before that, right? So all these things are very important, and it is interlinked as well. So if the produce is aimed at the local market, the fruit may be harvested when ripe or about to ripen. So if you have to take it to the local market, then you must pluck the fruit or harvest the fruit when it is ripe or about to just ripe. So if the produce is destined for the export market, the fruit can be harvested when the fruit is mature, but not ripe yet. So don't we should not wait for any fruit to get ripen on the tree and then harvest it and then it take to the market, because once it get harvested, a ripened fruit, it start degrading. So before that it has to reach to the market, and before that it has to reach to the uh, people also, right? Means the consumer. So this is very, very important, right? So if the produce is aimed at the local market, means if the local market is nearby, the fruit may be harvested when ripe. Okay, if your local market is very nearby, then the farmer can harvest the fruit when ripe or about to ripe. This is very important. And if the produce is destined for the export market, then fruit can be harvested when the fruit is mature. Do not wait to get it half ripen or just to ripe. Okay, once the fruit got mature, you can pluck that or you can harvest that, right? Do not allow them to get ripened, because after that the fruit may degrade its quality, or it may get you can say perishable. The external appearance of the produce is less important when the fruit is meant for processing. Now, if the fruit is going for any type of processing, like many fruits are used for making squash, jams, jellies, right? Juices. So at that time, external appearance is not as important as means the taste, right? For that, the taste, the quality is more important, not the external appearance. But when the people are buying it for their home to consume that fruit, they see that fruit, how it look like, right? And how it look like means how it going to be taste accordingly. So there remains the quality standard, such as water, sugar and acid content of the fruit. These are the very important point. Means the one should know, the harvester should know about it. The quality of any fruit or vegetable depends upon the water it contains, how much amount of water it contains, or how much amount of the sugar it contains. Okay. And also if any fruit is having some acid, right, malic acid or citric acid, any type of acid, so the acid content of the fruit is also very important at that time. For vegetables, so now if we are talk about the vegetables specifically, then seed packages give an indication of days to maturity, right? The seed packages, the package of the seed that gives an indication of days to maturity, how what time it going to get mature. This indication can also be found in the seed catalog. So the seed catalogs we are having, right, and it indicate that at what particular time the seed is going to be get mature. So accordingly, the vegetables can be consumed, because the ripening of the crop is largely dependent on the environmental condition, the time indication of the days to maturity, and should only be used as a guide. So you must have seen that in the winter season, the vegetables, the fruit, they can withstand for a longer duration of time. But what about in the case of summer? The fruits and vegetables, they get degraded very soon, because they contain the pulp, the water in it, it get uh, evaporated. It can easily get infected with the diseases. So we know that the spores of the fungi, the bacteria, they are all present in the atmosphere. So in the case of summer season, they get easily infected with those bacteria and fungi, right? So what to do? So according to the condition, according to the environmental condition, the time indication of days to maturity, this to understand is very, very important. And whatever the food you are consuming, vegetables or fruits, it is written there that at this particular time you should consume it. And once you are in the like in the case of winter season, the juices, the fruits, the vegetables, they do not get degrade very soon. They take like their shelf life is quite longer, right? So according to that, we can understand that this is the particular time of harvesting, and this at this time we can keep up to this time we can keep this fruits or vegetables. And also as a harvester, we should know that if this is a winter season, then at what time we should pluck the fruit, what time we should harvest the fruits or vegetables, and how much time it takes to go to the market, and from the market how much time it takes to the reaches to the consumer, right? So the shelf life of any fruits or vegetable depends upon the environmental condition. So the best way to determine the readiness of the crop or for the harvest is to check the garden frequently for the ripe produce during the close to the expected harvest time. So as a harvester, one should check in their garden, in their orchard, that what time the fruit is going to be matured. And we should not wait that let all the fruits get mature, because every fruit like flower is at the different time, fruit formation is at the different time, so the maturity of the fruit will also at the different time. They will not get mature, all the fruits matured on a tree at the same time. So the fruits that are getting matured should be harvested, and the one that is not got matured should be left to get mature at that particular tree. So this is the very important aspects of any harvester, and it all depends upon the environmental conditions. So when harvesting, avoid bruising or damaging the vegetables, as this will lead to the decay of the produce. So the vegetables continue to carry on life processes even after harvesting. So this is very important to understand what time the vegetable should be harvested, what at what time that should be kept before it is going to the market, what time it should be reaches to the market, right? So these are the things that a harvester should be knowing. So it is thus important that we retard these process in the mature products. So once the fruits or the vegetables in a very proper matured form, right? Because everyone want to get the best fruits, the best vegetables, right? And when you reaches to the market and the fruits are not at a mature, right, then how it the that fruit seller will go to sell that particular fruit. Okay, so as a harvester, it's a duty that to check whether the fruits are matured or not, at what time the fruit get perish. All these things, being a cultivator, being a farmer, being a harvester, one should know. With the exception of ripening, storage of vegetables does not improve the quality of the produce. So ripening and storage of vegetables, it is not going to improve the quality. The quality of the fruit depends upon the plant that is giving rise the fruits or the vegetables. It also depends upon the environmental condition that is facing by that particular plant, the the nutrients, the water that you are providing to the plants. It all depends on that, the weather conditions, right? And once the fruit is attached to the plant, and it if it is mature or not, at this is the very crucial time to know whether this particular fruit or vegetable is matured or not. If matured, then only you should pluck it. Otherwise, if you pluck it before it get matured, it is of no use. It will not get all the reach to the matured level. It will remain at the same type, and after that it will start degrading its quality even. So once it gets matured means it is having all the quality. That means the water level, the nutrient level, okay, the color of the fruit, it will have all the quality at that particular life. Maturity means that vegetable must possess high quality characteristics and be cultivated properly for it to be acceptable, right? So if the vegetables are fresh, green, and it's having the high quality, then only the people are going to buy that, right? So being a harvester, being a cultivator, you should know what is the exact time to harvest the vegetables or fruit. It is not easy to determine the point at which the specific crops reach their peak quality. What is the peak quality? How to know this? This is a very crucial to understand or to determine this particular point, right? It is essential that one keeps accurate and the complete records of the varieties that you use. What type of variety you are growing, that you should know. And then only you will know that at what time it get matured. The type of seed you bring from the nursery, right? Or the seedlings, they have all the information about that. So either if you are having the seed packet, then all the information is written there. Either you are taking the seedlings from any nursery, then you can know from there that what type of variety it is, when, how much time it takes to mature. All these things you should know. This is very important, right? So it is essential that one keeps accurate and complete records of the varieties that you use, when they were planted, etc. And this will help you to gauge the ideal time of harvest. And if you know all these things, then you can easily determine that this will be the best time of harvesting. Some crops are more easily damaged during the harvesting than the other. However, bruises and the cut must be avoided during the handling with all the crops, right? When you are having the crops, when you are having the fruits or vegetables on that, avoid to give any type of bruises or cuts to that plant. All produce showing the decay or rot must be removed and disposed of. Any type of decay or any type of rot, if you see in your orchard or in your you can say with the place where the cropland which in which you are growing your fruit or vegetables, so that decay and rot, any type of decay and rot, if you see, that should be removed immediately because it may spread. Hmm? And washing certain vegetables in cold running water immediately after the harvesting remove the soil, dust, or other contaminants and helps lower temperature. Right? Why it is asked to cold running water? Because it will remove all the dust particles, soil which is got attached to that fruit or vegetables, right? And that soil may have some microbes that can damage the fruits or vegetables. So the lower this cold running temperature, it will minimize the temperature, it will improve the shelf quality, and also it will remove all the dust and the contaminant which is got attached to it, and it will improve the shelf life of the fruits or vegetables. So that is why it is asked to do. By adding suitable sanitizer, microbial contaminants may be removed. Now, when storing vegetables, the following requirements need to be considered. What are those? Temperature. The conversion of sugar to starch is critical in products such as sweet corn and peas. So, sweet corn and peas, what they do? They contain sugar, and if it is get converted to starch, then the quality of that fruit will altered. So when storing vegetables, the following requirements need to be considered. The first thing, temperature. So it is necessary to cool these products immediately after harvest to minimize the conversion, right? So it is very important to cool the product, because at when you keep the fruits and vegetables at quite a low temperature, it will minimize the conversion. Conversion means, as just in the previous slide we have seen that the peas and the beetroot, that will convert its sugar content to starch, and ultimately its quality get degraded. So how to stop that? Keep it for a cooler temperature, lower temperature. If possible, harvest vegetable early in the morning or right before you intend to use them. Just you want to use them, you can plug at that time or plug it early in the morning, right? Second thing is the moisture. Proper humidity varies with the different commodities. In general, however, leaf vegetables need a high humidity, that is 95%, whereas onion should be stored in a drier atmosphere, that is 65 to 75 relative humidity. So this is the proper humidity varies with the different commodities. Different commodities means different types of vegetables and fruits. And leafy vegetables need a high humidity, right? Some of the vegetables like spinach, right? They require a high humidity. So that should be maintained. Ventilation. Wilting and the tissue breakdown are minimized if the storage area is well ventilated. So, like tissue damage, if you want to stop the tissue damage, then keep your plugged or harvested fruits and vegetable with proper ventilation. And in preparation for harvesting, an assessment is done to the tools and equipment required. So what type of equipment you are using for the harvested, that is also very important. The tools, the equipment you are using, and it should be proper sanitized. This is done taking into account the size of the farm, the crop, or the cultivar, the period during which the harvesting must be completed, and the capacity of the storing facilities where it is applicable. Once this information has been gathered, a decision can be made as to the number and the size of picking teams. So this is very important, that what type of your team should be there for picking or harvesting, right? According to the number of your fruits and vegetables trees, okay, and amount of the The fruits and vegetables each tree is giving. According to that, your equipment should be ready. According to that, the number of people should be ready. In the ease of mechanical harvesting, such assessment will determine whether a harvester should be booked. And if the farmers does not own a harvester and the number of harvesters they may be required, in addition, the number of backup equipment such as tractors, trailers used. So all these things should be done prior, means should be done before the harvesting you want to do, right? How much farmers help you required, what type of harvester you required, all these things should be done before the harvesting, not at the time of harvesting, right? So okay, so this is all about this session. We have completed just an introduction to harvesting, and after that we will have some more sessions to complete or understand the term harvesting. Till then, thank you very much.